Oh, good evening, good morning, good
Good
afternoon,
afternoon. Hello,
wherever you are in
hello.
this beautiful universe. Welcome, welcome, welcome
Welcome all to a date with your soul.
with your soul.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes,
So,
yes.
this is Maya Dari del Sol
And this is Janet Altagracia, and we are here every Friday.
at 8 p.m.
Yes,
Eastern Standard Time.
yes, to share some information or some um, experiences and perspectives about life,
Mhm.
about our family system, about our ancestors, about our psychology, about our inner child, about all of it that has to do with information that can help us evolve.
I call it patterns. We're here to help you see your patterns so
Yes,
that you can evolve and then liberate yourself.
exactly. So, welcome, welcome. We have a beautiful topic tonight. We are always bringing different perspectives. Sometimes we feel this way, and I don't know why I feel this way, but everything has a root. And
Mhm.
this root cause of our suffering or pain is important to understand where it comes from and how we can change it, right?
Absolutely.
Yes, definitely. So,
Absolutely.
welcome, welcome. We see some people joining on YouTube and also here on Instagram. So, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And so, Janet, how are you doing?
I am doing well. And we're going to start with a little commercial.
Yes, definitely.
So, this is the book that Maya Dari del Sol has written.
And I'm gonna say it for you this time. Buy the book. Buy
Buy
the
the
book.
book, okay? So she has several things that she has available that you can use as part of your tools to really get deep into this work. So I will start with the book that buy the book, and then what are the other two things that you have?
Yes, so we wanna tell you a little bit about. I have a training program on family constellations, and that's going to be starting in February 2024. And we have a waiting list that if it's something that you feel called to go deeper into the unresolved memories of your ancestors that are affecting your present and what you want to manifest, well, welcome. We go very deep, and not only to understand it, but also to create this deep transformation. So that's
Mhm.
the training program for. At the same time, you will learn how to facilitate this method for others. So that's
Mhm.
the beauty of the training program. And again, we are opening a list for registration for next year. We will begin again in February 2024.
Okay. And
Yes.
also the other program that you have.
Yes. Meanwhile, meanwhile, while February comes, then we have this program called Soul's Journey.
I took it. It's really good.
Thank you, Jared. So Soul's Journey is in this platform called Hatmart. Hatmart, right?
Yes,
How to say?
hot
Yeah.
mark. Yes.
Hatmart.com. And you can go visit this platform and look for Soul's Journey. And then that way you can have all of this introduction to family constellations, to your family system, understanding why or how am I connected to my ancestors and why am I repeating these patterns and how to liberate them, because there are exercises there that you can practice to start recreating your reality and your destiny, integrating, including, liberating, transcending all of these memories.
So the beauty of it is that it literally goes through levels. So you start with you can start with the level of the book. At least this is to get your feet wet. This is the baby, like you're an
Mhm.
infant going to 1 and 2. And then you go to the soul's journey. That's
Mhm.
now taking you more to school. You go deeper. And then if you really, really want to go deep, then absolutely join us for the training that will start in February, and the
Mhm.
waiting list has already started.
Yes.
Okay.
Janet will be teaching there already.
Yeah, I'm excited about
Yay!
that. It's such beautiful work. It has done such profoundness for
Mhm.
me that I want to show that to the world. This is my service.
Beautiful. Yes. So also, like if you want to go deeper eventually, and it's part of your purpose to teach, then we also train coaches. to train to do training in the institute, and you can be training facilitators for family constellations. So that's pretty much the whole escalation, the way that you can grow in the institute and with this method, because it's a never ending, right? It's like
It's like the spiral. It's never ending. Just when you got something,
Mhm.
something else comes for you to evolve and liberate. And it's nice to know that we have tools that we can use.
Yes, and grow together
And
and heal
absolutely.
together, because no matter how many family constellations I do, like every day I do sessions online, or also Janet, online or in person or group. Every time a session comes, I get to heal something as a facilitator. And everybody that is present, all people who are representing, also are seeing, having self observations about themselves and healing with the session of the person who comes to do the process. So, welcome to live this experience. If you haven't done a family constellation session, we recommend you to
We
do
definitely
so.
invite you to do
Yes,
one.
there are two facilitators here, and
Mhm.
more than facilitating, I'm very glad if you give me the opportunity to teach you this method. You will go very deep, and I would say that it's like when you go and see the green side on the other side, but you don't know how it is until you really get to be there. So just give yourself the opportunity to experience being on the green side. Yes, but for that you really need to go through a process. And this process is family constellations is a possibility
What
to.
is that? I said if the grass is not green on the other side, something like that. But give
Uh-huh.
yourself the opportunity.
Yes, exactly.
So
So
we have a
welcome.
nice juicy topic.
Yes, we do.
And a toughy one too.
Also.
And what is it?
We are talking about the wound of abandonment.
Abandonment.
We will be talking about abandonment tonight. We spoke about rejection and exclusion last week. So if you haven't seen that program, we recommend you to go and see it. We might leave it here, for you to take a look at. But tonight's topic is about abandonment. And we want to understand better this energy, because it is an energy that maybe has been present in your life. Let's say if your partner leaves you, that means that probably you felt abandoned.
And the beauty of that, I speak this for myself. I
Mhm.
only thought abandonment happened if your partner left you.
Mhm.
But as Maya will be sharing, abandonment happens in many different forms.
Yes.
And like in my case, I abandoned myself, not even realizing it. So
Mhm.
just I want to just throw that juiciness out there.
Beautiful.
Mhm.
Yes. So let's begin talking about how that happens. What is the origin, the root of abandonment? If we think about this, if we you got to experience abandonment, let's say by mom or dad, um, probably is because your family system is carrying the energy of abandonment. So don't look at only your case, but look beyond, like, before you. Did your father left mom, left you? Or did mom left the system? Or who in your family system left that someone felt abandoned?
Yes.
Yes, because we cannot go to only what happened to me, because I am the consequence of something that is bigger.
Hmm.
And it's important to understand this. Otherwise, we tend to blame others for this energy that is pulsing in your family system, meaning that it hasn't been seen, recognized, integrated, healed, and transcended.
And that's why we choose to create the womb to do all those steps. But
Yes.
at the moment, we're not aware that that's what we're doing.
And when you're not aware, guess what? You keep attracting
Hmm.
the same energy. So anything that you experience might leave you in the same sort of energy. Oh, but I felt left out, or I felt they left me, or no one sees me. I'm not recognized. Yes, and all of these little phrases come to your mind, and it is important to review them because right after we try to, or we pretend to cover it, say, "Oh, but it's okay. It's not important," because it is important. Is that we are talking about this topic tonight? Yes. So let's talk a little bit about the wounds of abandonment that usually happens when you are about 1 year, 1, 2 years old. Yes. And it is different than the wound of rejection in the sense of when someone leaves you, but they leave you because they don't like you, then you feel rejected. But this time I'm leaving you in a different way. So there is a rejection and an abandonment, and they tend to be similar, but they are not. Yes, rejection is I don't want you, right? I don't like you, or I didn't want you. And abandonment is I leave you. Yes, I leave you. That's the difference. One invites rejection, and this one invites abandonment. Yes, so the wound of abandonment usually happens with the parent of the opposite sex. Yes, so if I'm a woman, probably I would leave the experience of abandonment from my dad. And if you are a man, maybe you felt the experience of abandonment from mom. Yes, and let's talk about this abandonment because not necessarily it means that they left and they never came back, right? We're gonna be talking here about how abandonment can operate, let's say, energetically, what dynamic happens that you felt abandoned as a child. Yes. Okay, so we were just talking before we began this, we started the program about different ways that you can feel this abandonment when you are a child. Let's say that you became, you turned to be 1, 2 years old, maybe, and maybe your mother needs to go to work.
Right.
And she left you at the take care, the daycare.
Mm-hmm.
And for you, that might be an abandonment because for a child who mom has never left me, it's like you feel like mom abandoned me.
So you think about it, and I say that because I was just thinking when you said that, my granddaughter,
Mm-hmm.
her mother stayed with her 3 months,
Mm-hmm.
was breastfeeding, everything was that child, then she had to go back to work.
Mm-hmm.
So right there, probably abandonment started.
Yes, there is an energy where that baby feels, where is my mother?
Mm-hmm.
She was always there for me, and now she's not there for me any longer.
Mm-hmm. So now I'm going through all these different, different people, but there's so look how profound and deep and how early it starts when you think about it.
Yes, so that's a memory.
Mm-hmm.
It is a memory for that child that felt at certain point that my mom or my dad abandoned me. They left me here and they didn't return. Or are they going to return? That's the fear of the child.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh my God, they left me around all of these people that I don't know. Maybe they don't love me.
And it's interesting because you see it. Because when I see my daughter coming,
Mm-hmm.
you see her daughter like looking for her, like, oh, there she is, and it's like the world changes. So yeah,
Yeah.
we don't even think about it. It's just comes human normal, but it's not.
Yes, exactly. It's not. It is a memory that this
Mhm.
baby has a fear of I'm not gonna be loved by the ones that love me. Because abandonment is very connected to not feeling loved. No one loves me. They left me alone. Those are two of typical phrasing that they would use. No one loves me. No one helps me. I'm alone.
So that right there, just the fact that you say I am alone, that's how profound and deep that is.
That could be that someone in your family system felt that way.
Mhm.
And maybe it wasn't you, maybe it was grandma who felt alone when grandpa died and had children to take care of and felt alone and maybe couldn't be present emotionally for these children. So these children feel abandoned because the father died and abandoned by my mother, who is not emotionally present for me. Can you see?
Oh, absolutely. And sometimes the mother might not even realize that she's not emotionally present for her.
Yes.
So if she cannot be for her, how can she be for you?
Yes. So the child has this perspective of not being taken care of, because of course every child needs attention. And usually these children who feel abandoned felt like there was a lack of attention when I needed a hug, when I needed someone to contain me, someone to that I feel supported by.
It's like even like they feel like they belong. You know, like they belong. That's what they
Mhm.
seek and that's what they want. And that all comes through love and like, you know, holding, knowing that I'm there, that I'm important, that I'm present.
Mhm. So there is a lack of and a gap, a void in your heart where you feel like they weren't there for me and I had to do it all by myself, all alone.
So for you people that are keep seeking men that if you want them to fill the gap and you feel like you're always doing things alone, we need to look at that now because this could be one pattern,
Yes.
one understanding.
Yes. And so when we went through, let's say, that experience, we need to find a way to have people's attention.
Yeah.
And so you create a mask, a way to call the attention. So there you go, because you start manipulating to get what you need. And that's the beginning of when we really start manipulating to get what we need. Yes, which is attention and love, right? So let's say that you as a child, no one pay attention to me, but when I get sick, all the attention goes to me. So see, the child already sees and says, oh, if I get sick, I can get some attention. And probably creates ways to get sick, to get what I need. And that's the beginning of how can I get people's attention by being what? The victim of something. This happened to me. I lost my, let's say, my bath. I fell, and someone did this, and no one helped me. And so you start creating these stories that call people's attention.
Right. You become a victim of everything that is happening in your life.
Then you learn how to grab people's attention. Yes, so that's one of the ways that people tend to do. And usually the wound of abandonment is the one that is the victim of all of the wounds is the victim. And also is very dependent. Yes, I depend on others to feel good. I depend on others to feel loved. Yes, so that creates these dynamics called dependency and codependency.
Which can be so dangerous, but yet we fall in it so easily.
Yes, because, um, for example, if I'm in a toxic, let's say toxic, I don't like that word, but it's in this sort of relationships that are very dysfunctional. But I'd rather be in this dysfunctional relationship before this person leaves me. Because guess what? If they leave me, it will trigger me. And then I will feel abandoned again. And that's so painful.
Yeah. So we rather just put our head down and we don't do it consciously. It's just we that's our way of protecting ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes looking at the other way that takes the work and sometimes we're not ready.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we just are not even aware until it is triggered right in our face like this that we have no choice but to look at it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Another way of someone with a wound of abandonment is that if someone really loves you, you won't believe it because you're not used to feeling loved, that you cannot trust that someone is going to love you. So they sabotage that possibility. And if
Wow.
someone comes and wants to really love you, instead of saying you leave, because just in case you are not being true, before you hurt me, I'm leaving you.
And the fact that you said that they just don't believe that they deserve to be loved
Yes.
because they've been abandoned. So since they don't want that to happen, I'm like totally here. Like I try to learn something new every day.
So I'd rather leave first before you leave me.
Wow, this is how deep we protect ourselves.
Mhm, mhm. Now let's talk about this deeper one.
Okay.
The deeper one is when we abandon ourselves. And we were talking about
That
that
was the
one,
little
Janet.
preview that we were giving you guys before we got on because we didn't realize we were live. So that was
Mhm,
a little preview. And yeah, like with me, I thought my abandonment was when my husband left me or my
mhm,
ex now.
mhm,
But I realized through doing this work that my abandonment started way before that. He just showed me
mhm,
by leaving. So he actually gave me a gift.
mhm,
But I was a victim for a while.
mhm.
The person that had abandoned me was me.
Yes. I like to talk a little bit about your case,
Hmm.
Janet, in this sense. Because if you're not happy in your marriage, then you feel that you have a company, but you feel alone. You feel not loved, not seen, not recognized. Yes? So when someone is not giving you that in return, it's not being compensated or in equilibrium, that let's say that giving and receiving, then I'm not giving that to myself because I'm accepting that the other one is not willing to give me. And so it's a sort of an abandonment. I abandon myself to the situation and I stay there in my loneliness. Even though I don't feel good, I stay there, let's say, because we have a marriage. And I don't want that to change. At least I have a company. But that's not, we are not in this time, like because we are in this new consciousness. So we are not to be handling that any longer. That's not part of what consciousness is. We are meant to choose always what makes me feel good. So if I'm not choosing myself first, then I'm having issues with deserving and self love.
And you're bringing into your experience someone that does not choose you
Yes.
first.
So in this case, what you have to do is take a look at your family system and say, who did left when I was a child, mom or dad?
And in my case, I did do a constellation with Maya on
Mhm,
that.
mhm.
And I saw that all this started with my great great grandmother.
So what happened with great grandma?
She was totally disconnected,
That's
totally
right.
disconnected, and she
Hmm.
was abandoned.
Yeah, it's an
So then
abandonment.
my mother came, and every mate she had would abandon her.
Hmm.
And then I came and I did the same.
Yes.
So that's how deep it went.
So two
Two
generations
generations.
before you, the abandonment started. Yes. So it is this sort of disconnection from, for example, a mother and a daughter, because the one can also happen between, mother and daughter, but it's more common to have it like the daughter with the father, for example, which is my case. Yes, my father left when I was eight months old. And I usually, my issue was having a stable relationship, because or they will leave me or I will leave them. That was my pattern. And I couldn't find the root of this. I was like, I don't know, maybe I have such a bad luck with men, right? But it wasn't that. What was happening was that I was being loyal to that memory of when my father left. So I will look for men to leave me.
I sit there and I smile and I laugh, but that's exactly what we do
Yes, unconsciously,
unconsciously.
we
Yeah.
repeat until we realize that that's not normal. Because at a certain point, I was like, well, I don't know what's wrong with me, or I don't know if it is them. I couldn't find what was wrong until I got to this memory, and I got to tap into it and see it's like, oh, okay, I actually felt guilty of their divorce, because what happened was that I was a baby and my mom went to the kitchen and I fell off the how do you call that?
The high chair. Mm.
No, the
Not
where the baby is, the
like playpen, the crib,
yeah,
the crib.
exactly. And he came home and he got upset, and so he left because of that simple thing. But then in my, of course, in that memory, I felt that it was my fault. Yes, so I was carrying guilt, and so I don't deserve to have a um,
A steady, stable
a
relationship.
steady, stable man or a partner. And that was the root of my story of why I couldn't have a stable relationship. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, hmm.
And then because I'm reviewing, and that's one of my main wounds, abandonment. And if I take a look and review my whole story throughout my whole life, I used to feel very lonely and alone. Even I felt the same story with my son, because my son went through the same story,
You created it.
abandonment.
Think about it. You
I
created it.
created it because I didn't know more, because I couldn't see what I was trapped into energetically. That was what was repeating the repetitive pattern in my family. And I did repeated it also with my son. So it is important to take a look at those sort of phrasing
Hmm.
that we use. Sometimes it comes in words, sometimes it comes in thoughts. And when you say that, oh, I feel like I cannot do it, for example, I cannot do it, means that I'm 1 year old, I cannot do it by myself. So probably the abandonment happened when you were around that age,
Hmm.
because I cannot do it by myself. I cannot, or I feel helpless is another phrase that you can use and feel like, oh, I feel abandoned, no one helped me. Or fear of not having someone there for you. And that, of course, triggers you, because no one wants to feel this way, especially when you're a baby, right? Or a child. And we are at this moment, when we become adults, we are the only ones who can go rescue this inner child who feels abandoned,
Hmm.
because mom and dad might not be there any longer, and we are still expecting, because we have this sort of hope that at certain point mom or dad will return for me.
Hmm.
And if this didn't happen, I would still feel the same sort of abandonment. And so when we get to see what is happening in our psychology, we can easily integrate the memory, heal it, right? And express how I felt when you weren't there for me, mom or dad, because that's very important. And that's what we do in a family constellation session, right? It's like just saying it. I felt alone and I really wanted you to be there for me. And just by saying that, it's
Yeah.
so healing.
It's the beautiful way for you to heal that child and what the child was feeling,
Hmm.
so yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, once you get to see that your mother went through the same or your father went through the same, you can have the compassion to say, and I can see why that was our story, mom or dad.
And I feel like that brings such a feeling of forgiveness, you seeing it, and that's
Then
why you release.
forgiveness. Forgiveness happens right there, and then you can let go
And
and
liberate it.
accept the past as it was, your destiny, each other's destiny, and you can integrate that memory, and then you can move on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very simple.
it's very simple. It seems simple. Yeah, it's just confronting what is when you put yourself in the experience. That's the only hard step to in family constellations, is for you to say, I'm taking this step and having this experience.
And that's the beauty of the experience, because as you have it, you will be supported in such pure love,
Mm-hmm.
such unconditional love. And then there, your body, your energy feels that, and therefore it allows itself to release and bring what
Mm-hmm.
needs to be healed. So it's very,
Definitely.
very profound.
All right. So another ways, maybe you that are watching right now, is there a way that you have felt maybe alone or abandoned? Because you can share and we can share
Yeah, put it in the
here.
comment.
Yeah, put it in the comment box and we can take a look if I open the box. Yes, there it is. And so, because we all have maybe felt at certain point, this is the one of the most common wounds that we all at certain point experience when we were children.
Hmm.
Yes. So I don't know if you want to share a little bit. Janet, do you have another experience where maybe you felt abandoned?
Well, yeah. Well, growing up, you know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? I felt like I was like the black sheep of the family because I was so different from them.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I didn't belong. So I've always I did feel abandoned. So and I did feel like alone and
Mm-hmm.
lonely. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I made it a point to learn how to be my own best friend.
Mm-hmm.
But yes,
Mm-hmm.
I did feel, and I still do at times. You know what I mean? It's just
Mm-hmm.
you do.
So in that case, it is a double wound, because then you feel rejected, because you feel like you are the black sheep of the family. You feel rejected. At the same time, there is a sort of abandonment there.
Mm.
See, they can be mixed. See, wounds can be mixed. In this case that you're just saying, then you felt rejected and also you felt abandoned. See, so that's very interesting how these dynamics or these energies can become one sort of one trapped energy within ourselves, and we haven't been able to realize what
And then
was
you go ahead and you try to
the
be
beginning of it.
perfect for the other person because you don't want that other person to leave you.
Hmm.
You know.
That's a mask too.
Hmm.
Yes, and let's talk about that one, because the um, the wound of abandonment invites us to be the savior. That's another mask that the wound has. It's like, I gotta save everybody. I'm gonna save people from this, from that, from that. But you don't realize what you're trying to do is to save yourself through others. Yes. So the hero, let's call the hero has the wound of abandonment. It's like, I need to save the world from people to abandon others. Yes. So let's say, and it is important to see this. See, like when you want to save someone from this or from that, or because you think they cannot do it by themselves, probably there is a part of you that you felt the same and no one was there for you. So I'm gonna be there for you, and somehow that is a way to help yourself. So instead of you being really a true conscious helper, you are trying to save a part of you.
Like I say, you know something. It's not even. It's like you understand it better. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? You see it deeper, and you're like, ah. this is what I'm doing.
Yes, there is a dynamic, an
Mm-hmm.
internal dynamic in our psychology that doesn't allow to see this because we have all of these veils that we put in ourselves not to see our truth because our truth hurts.
Yeah.
We don't want to see the raw part of the pain,
Mm-hmm.
but we actually need to get into the raw part of our pain in order to transcend it. So we have someone here on Facebook that I don't see your name because it says just Facebook user, but it says, Jeep, I finally realized that my mom abandoned me as a child. I was looking for love, and my mom and dad didn't want to give it to me.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that because now the question is, did mom and dad receive that sort of attention and love from their own parents? Because if they didn't, then it will be hard for them. It was hard for them to give what they didn't receive. They don't know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know what that is. They just thought that giving love was just probably having you at home and feeding you or giving you what you needed. But maybe they didn't know what being emotionally is.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can have a parent that is all day long at home with you, but it's not present,
Yes.
meaning is on the phone, is watching TV, is doing things. But when the child calls mom, the mom is so busy that the child feels like my mom doesn't, I'm not important. I don't exist for my mom because I'm trying to get her attention and she doesn't give it to me. Yes, but then this has another root, of course. Your parents didn't see you because they didn't know what that is. No one maybe saw them as well. So it is a repetitive pattern.
Mm-hmm. That's
Yes.
why we go back to heal that.
Oh, it's Dave. Hello, Dave. It's so nice to see you here. That's something that I realized. Yes, definitely. Thank you for sharing that. Um, it is so important when we get to understand what happened. The destiny, as I said before, between you and I, mom or dad, was that,
Mm-hmm.
but also to rescue your own inner child. So when we do family constellations, because Dave is also a facilitator.
Mm-hmm. He took the program.
Yes,
Yes.
he took the program at the Institute. And by the way, if you're interested in knowing more about the program, you can go to www.systemichealinginstitute.com. And you will see there the full 8 modules program and what each module is about. And we hope to join our waiting list. And we are starting again
In
in
February.
February. Yes. Yes, yes. And then Dave says, now I feel understanding and compassion for them. And
Mm-hmm.
that's when you really have done forgiveness, when you
Mm-hmm.
have this deep understanding of that and saying, oh, I can see mom and dad. And also, another beautiful thing that can happen in a family constellation session is that sometimes we bring grandma or great grandma, or we can go transgenerationally to see when this dynamic started. Because there were moments in history where parents couldn't be present because maybe it was a difficult moment. Yes, for example, let's say that there was an economy issue,
Right. Like the
um,
Great Depression, all these
like the
things.
Great Depression. So the mom is worried, the father is worried. They need to go out and look for money to
How
feed
do they make
you,
the
feed
money?
the family, so the family can survive. And they cannot be present because they are in their mind so worried about how to survive. But a child doesn't understand that because the child doesn't care about that. The child cares about love.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's something that sometimes we don't get to see um, with this perspective, right? And less when you are a child, because the child only needs the attention, the love, wants to play, but doesn't understand what's happening around. And parents are trying to do, or they try to do the best they can. Yeah, so that's
Mhm.
important to also take a look at. And also, when all of these parents weren't emotionally present, is because definitely they didn't have parents that were present for them. Mm. So they just think that that's the way a parent loves a child. That was
Mm.
love for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, until you, maybe that are you that are at this moment listening to this program says, but hold on, I feel this void. And if I don't feel complete, I cannot move on in life. And if I don't feel complete, I'm going to be looking for this lack of love somewhere else. So I need to look for that love in my partner. Or if my partner doesn't give me that love, then I'm going to look for that love in my children or in my friends, or everywhere I go. I'm trying to look for people to give me that love, that attention. And I become dependent of others to love me because I'm still trying to fill this gap, this void.
Where
And
so you're so busy looking for love outside, for that
mhm,
completion outside, that you forget that you have it in you already.
but the child doesn't recognize that. So where can I get that love? And that's why we live the experience of family constellations. Because at that moment in the family constellation session, we recreate an image. And in this image, mom comes and grabs you and say, I'm here for you.
Gives you that beautiful love that you've been missing.
Gives you the moment that you have been expecting or waiting for your entire life. And that's enough.
Just saying it feels profound.
Yes. Because then that inner child in you feels like, "Ah, I don't have to wait for this any longer. It's already here. I just felt that love."
And that's the point where they realize it, where it started.
Yes.
There it is.
And that's when the healing happens in a family constellation session.
Oh, wow, Maya. That is so profound because we go through all of this. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
yes.
This is why we keep creating these stories of abandonment. But
Mm-hmm.
a constellation will show you, and you do the healing because the person that you feel abandoned comes,
Mm-hmm. And rescue you or give you what you need at
gives
that
you what you
moment.
need.
And see, that's why we want to invite you again to live this experience. It's hard for us to explain the experience until you really get to be in it.
I say, it's something that you just have to experience. There's really no words for it. That's what I
Exactly.
feel. There's
There's
just
no
no
words
words.
for it. Just go for it.
Yeah.
Give yourself that amazing gift and go rescue that inner child and go liberate your ancestors, because if they couldn't, you still can do it for them and for the ones that are coming or for the ones that are already there.
Hmm.
Because maybe you already have children and you don't want it to happen to your grandchildren, right? So the best gift that we can give to our descendants is that of healing, healing our past and our ancestors' past.
Absolutely.
Definitely. So that was our sharing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. So, as you know, like Dave is a constellator, I'm a constellator. So, if you feel called, definitely,
Your number,
yeah, go ahead and
Janet?
give me a call. It's 407
Mhm.
460 5756. I can do it in person or online. So, you have a choice. I also am bilingual, so I can do it in both English and Spanish. But definitely give yourself that gift. If you feel called to, give yourself that gift. So, again, 407 460 5756.
Beautiful. Dave, now that you are there on YouTube, just write down your number and say, I'm Dave. I'm a family constellations facilitator, and put your number as well. He's also a graduate from our institute. So you can look for any of them to have a family constellation session. And I'm here, Maya, and my intention here is to be showing you these perspectives and teaching, because I love teaching. And if you want to go deeper, I'm here in the Institute. The doors are open already for registration. And if you feel called to it, we hope to join us on February. So send us a text. Maybe you can send me a text through WhatsApp. My number is 321-900-5680, and say, Maya, I'm interested in being part of that group that starts in February.
And we will happily add you to the waiting list.
Yes,
Okay.
definitely, definitely, definitely. So next week, we're going to be talking about this big wound, which is the wound of betrayal.
Whew, yeah.
And that one we have a lot to talk about.
Absolutely.
Yes, yes, yes. And so we hope you enjoy our company, because we did enjoy your company.
And if this resonates, definitely subscribe, hit
Give
the
us a
like,
like or
give
a
us the like, the
heart.
heart for comments. We always look at the comments, and and there's other topics that you want to go deeper, just put it in the comments.
In the comments. And if you feel like you know someone who feels alone, abandoned, helpless,
Send this one.
send this video to them, and
Send
so
this
they
video.
can understand, oh, this is why I feel abandoned. So it's not because my partner left me, it's not because no one wants me, it's because you have a wound from your childhood that you haven't been able to heal, or because your ancestors have this energy pulsing in your family system and it hasn't been liberated, that you are living these experiences. So we invite you again to live the experience of family constellations, or to come join us in our training program and be part of it.
And don't forget, buy the book.
Buy the book.
This is the first step.
That is the first step. If you want to know more about, okay, let me see what these ladies are talking about, and how is it that my life is the consequence of my ancestors or my family system past. It's like ridiculous. You're like,
Yeah.
no, 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 I'm creating my own reality. Well, no, no, no.
Yeah.
That's not how we think it is, or we think we choose, but in reality, we are so attached unconsciously to these invisible loyalties that we at the end ended up doing it the same as them until we get to heal our past. So Alchemy for the Soul is a possibility for you. You can find it in Amazon, or you can go and take it if you don't like reading. We have also this program called Soul's Journey in hatmart.com. It's a platform that holds the whole program. It's Soul's program in hatmart.com. And if you do this and that, or if you just say, no, 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 I want to go straight to the rabbit hole, as Janet said, then let's just join
Join
this
our waiting
training
list.
program.
Absolutely.
Yes, yes, yes. So it was a pleasure.
Yeah,
Thank
it
you,
was a
Janet.
good one.
Thank you, friend.
Very
I love you so
eye-opening.
much.
Continue. I learn every day, all the time. I'm so grateful to my wonderful teacher here.
Aw.
So grateful to her. So
Laura is saying, oh, hi, Laura. Laura is as well a facilitator. And so you can leave your number there on Instagram. So if people is looking for a facilitator also, she does it in English and in Spanish. So she's saying, Maya, what about a mom who had the thought of snort his child, but she didn't, and now he is rude to her? That's exclusion, right? Snort? What snort means?
I'm not sure. Snort.
Snort. What that means? What snort means? Because I really don't know that word. Oh, abort. That.
Oh, okay. Got it. Got it. Okay.
No, that's more connected to rejection. That is the wound of rejection. Mom didn't want me. And so this child probably is holding resentment towards mom. And mom feels guilt now. And maybe afterwards she said, no, but afterwards I wanted you and this and that and that. Yes, but the energy somehow felt like, oh, my mom didn't want me. And this child is having issues, feeling like I deserve to be seen or to people to accept me. Yes, so it's a different wound. So check out the last wound that we did last week,
Yeah.
which is the wound of rejection,
Of
and you will
rejection.
understand that more. So yes, definitely rejection and exclusion. Yes, and it is a little bit different because I leave you is abandonment, but I don't like you or I don't want you is rejection. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Thank
Laura, for
you.
commenting and for sharing and for being so present. We love you guys. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
Yeah, we'll see you same
Yay.
time
Yes, we'll
next
see you
week
next Friday at 8 p.m.
with the
Eastern time in another date
which is
date with your soul.
so. All
Yes.
right. Bye bye,
And we will be
everyone.
talking about
Betrayal.
betrayal.
Let's
Yay.
understand that deeper.
Let's understand betrayal deeper. That's a deep one. And a lot of us act on behalf of that one because we just, it's
It's a
hard for
big.
us to trust.
It's a big one. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. So
yes.
yeah, it's a big one.
It's a big one.
Yeah.
So sending blessings
Lots of love
and love.
and
Yes.
hearts.
And
You want to do the
hearts.
hearts? You go.
That's sort of it. No, here, there you go.
Oh,
And let's do it together.
oh, there we
Yeah,
go.
there we go. Yay!
Beautiful.
We're playing with like our inner child,
Yeah.
our inner children.
When everything is said and done, it's all about healing our inner child.
Yes, definitely. So we'll see you next week. Mwah. Have an
Bye.
amazing weekend.
Yes.
Yes.
Bye bye.
And then here. We love you too, Dave.